Okay, in this episode, I want to cover the business of photography for you in under 10 minutes. So let's get started. So first off, an introduction on who I am and why you should even listen to me at all. So my name is Nathan Chansky. I am an entrepreneur, photographer, business coach, and I have been photographing for 15 years. I have been running a photography business for 8. I've been a business coach for photographers for roughly just about 3 years now. And in that time as a business owner, I've been able to make anywhere from 6 figures in a year to 6 figures in an hour, all the way to 7 figures in a year, and a heck of a lot of mistakes and failures in between that I'd love to save you on your journey. And maybe most importantly, I've also helped many other photographers hit milestones in their business. And all that to say, I'm not just here to talk about only things that worked for me. So in this episode, I want to share with you the basic key secrets of running a photography business that you must know if you want to make this a full-time career that not only allows you to do work you love to do, but provides financial freedom for you and maybe your family as well. So let me start with a story. And it's actually my story because I was not always this 7-figure business owner in front of you here today. My story begins in 2017, back when I was a young recent college graduate turned photographer who wanted to quit his day job and work for himself, shooting with his camera. And I was ambitious at this time, so despite having a day job as a graphic designer, I decided to also be a hustler on the side to build my photography business. So I would work during the day in the office as a designer, and then at night and on weekends, I would go out and shoot for people, very often for free. I'd edit the images, I'd post them all over social media, I'd spend tireless hours building my first website, setting up my back-end systems, etc. Until on the second year of doing all of that, I started making more in photography than I had made in my day job. So then at the beginning of year 3, I quit my day job and I went all in on photography. And then the rest is history, right? So wrong, so wrong. While I had a fully booked out season that year, I went full time. It was the following season that I experienced something rather new for me, which was crickets in my inbox. Sure, I was getting some inquiries and I was booking some of them, but honestly, there were weeks where I'd go without a single inquiry, and I did not know how to, raise my prices. I didn't know what was turning people away after they inquired. I just didn't know how to take the next step in my business as a whole. And then enter a worldwide pandemic and economic downturn in 2020 to top it all off. So my business was not exactly thriving at this point, and it certainly was not growing. It felt very stagnant with nowhere to go, which as a business owner felt like a death sentence, quite frankly. And I did not know what to do. So to troubleshoot, I looked at my photos. I was like, surely if I just made my photos better, that would fix things and clients would come flocking to work with me, right? Maybe it was my client experience too. Something must make it subpar to work with me. I'm sure of it, I thought. Maybe I just needed to get better at editing. Yeah, that's it. The way that I edit just isn't the right vibe for the people in my geographical area, I thought. But over time, I learned that my main problems were not in any one of those areas. My problem wasn't my art. Sure, it could have been a bit better. Absolutely. Client experience could always improve. But I came to realize, maybe the hard way, that the problem was not my art, but I didn't know business. I had built my business off of, a unique wave of early success when you first get into business and everyone's kind of talking about your new business and a booming economy back then. And frankly, places like Instagram were just easier to get clients back in 2017 and 2018 when they were on their come up. But when all that went away, I was lost. See, back in 2017, 2018, and even a bit into 2019, back in the good old days, you could kind of just post your photos on Instagram and say, I'm in business. And frankly, you could get a good handful of people coming, but not so much after 2020. It was not that easy anymore. Mastering art wasn't enough, and it still isn't. Some of the most talented photographers are out there, and they can barely make a living, not because they aren't talented, not because they don't know art, not because they don't know how to take a good photo or edit it well, but because they cannot figure out how to leverage their business brain with their creative brain. And I was one of them. And I knew I needed to change. I knew I needed to learn business. So I went on a hunt in 2020 to learn it. And it actually took me years to learn business, but I started getting obsessed with learning business. I was constantly reading books on business and mindset and money. I was binging podcasts. I was investing in even online courses and coaches. I was attending workshops and events, and all the while I was implementing what I was learning as well. Until finally, the following year, I was looking back at a 6-figure year in photography bookings alone. And I then started teaching other photographers what I had learned and implemented in business. And then I saw them blow up their businesses too. And today, I don't even sugarcoat it. If you want to build a thriving career in this field of photography, if you want to build financial freedom, if you want to have leverage like you've never seen before as a photographer, you have to learn business. Now, can I tell you the 3 primary buckets of business you must master in order to kill it as a photography business owner? So I see these 3 over and over and over again as the sole reason someone fails or succeeds in their photography business. Are you ready for them? Okay, so let's go back to when I barely had any inquiries. What was my issue? Not good enough photos? No, I could shoot just fine. I could edit just fine. I had rave reviews back then too. The missing piece was number 1, like I had said, marketing. No one knew about me. I could be up against 2 other photographers in my area, and regardless of our talent, the other 2 would win every time for clients because they were just better connected. Everyone knew them, but no one knew me. And this is the problem many of you photographers have that are struggling right now. No one knows about you. It's not your art's problem. It's just no one knows you exist, or not enough people know you exist. And so you must master your marketing. You must learn to be an absolute machine at getting people to know you exist. Okay, so let's go back to when people would view my website, and they did know I exist, the few that did, or the ones that did view my Instagram, or the ones that even inquired with me. I didn't know how to build an offer for those people, or even to present it to them. I didn't know how to price myself even. Heck, I didn't even know how to present myself as the photographer or brand that they should want to work with, which brings us to number 2. I had no product that people would want. And again, many of you are in the same boat. There's nothing exciting about the offer of your product. The prices of your product are just guesses. And the you of your product, you are a stranger to people when they reach out. But you have to flip all of that. You have to create an irresistible offer and a personal brand that people immediately connect with and cannot pass up. Okay, but wait. What's number 3? Even when I did have people who inquired or did want to work with me, a lot of times I'd get them on a sales call, a consult call, and then I'd be ghosted. Like, what happened? Brings us to number 3. I didn't know sales. I didn't know how to get people from inquiry all the way to booking. Does that sound familiar to anybody? But once you learn sales, once I learned sales and the psychology of what connects people to you, what gets them to trust you, and what gets them to flip that switch in their brain from, I'm not sure I want to work with you yet, to just saying yes, send the contract. That's when you can create a bulletproof system from inquiry to booking. Okay, so those are the 3 I want you to remember. Number 1, your marketing. Number 2, product. This includes your branding, your pricing, your offer. And number 3, sales. If you master those 3, mark my words, you will have cracked the code to running a successful photography business. I've seen it time and time again. Now, I promised this would only be 10 minutes long, so I have to stay high level for this episode, and I gotta wrap up. But if you wanna learn more about how to master these 3, what it takes, make sure you subscribe to my channel so I can help teach you more. And maybe even one day I can see you in my coaching program, The Business Blueprint, where I specifically can show you step by step how to master these 3. So as always, thank you so much for being here and listening, and I hope to see you around here more often from here on out. See you guys next time.